Yo, what is up everybody and welcome back to another daily update video. My name is CryptoStash and I hope you're having an amazing week. It is currently Wednesday and Bitcoin is right now dumping. As you can see right here, we are currently losing our weekly pivot as support, which we've tested perfectly before, but right now the price is trying to break below it, as you can see, and our next target will be that value area low right here at around 104, 105k and also 103k, basically our next weekly pivot support right here, as you can see. So that would be a almost 3% move to the downside if we lose that weekly pivot. But as you can see right now, also our RSI momentum is getting very oversold, so I'm expecting that we keep above that weekly pivot. Maybe we get kind of a fake out right now, as long as we don't close this hourly candle right here below that weekly pivot. Then I'm expecting a push up for Bitcoin. As you can see, basically, in my opinion, a very needed correction, as we had here also rejected from that weekly pivot resistance. Basically, on the 4-hour time frame, as you can see, our RSI also currently hitting that 20 line, basically. So it's possible that we bounce from here, or we get into that oversold territory and then we get a major bounce. But right now, what is causing this dump also is our stock market is getting rejected, as you can see, from that first weekly pivot resistance, basically, and is currently having a small dump. But Bitcoin is currently having a bigger correction, as you can see. Since we rejected, we are currently down 3%. But Ethereum, as we can see, the altcoins, guys, are still holding strong. That's why I'm thinking that this dump for Bitcoin is basically just a bear trap to trap these aggressive sellers that are selling right here. Because if we look at our open interest and delta, you can see that all of this move to the downside is a real move. We actually do manage to liquidate a lot of long positions, as you can see, a lot of late longs. Basically, we got our open interest going up and our CVD down. So basically, those were a lot of shorts opening right here and right here. So there was a real sell pressure, basically. This move is not fake. But in my opinion, this dip will get bought up really fast, since we got a lot of longs liquidated. So I'm expecting buyers to step in at some point, maybe at our value area low or our weekly pivot support. The first one basically around 103.8k or 104. If we make a box basically right here, this is where I'm expecting buyers to step in, basically. So maybe we do something like this. The price drops until here, then consolidates, our RSI gets oversold, and then the price shoots up to 111k once again. So as I said, in my opinion, this right now is a perfect bear trap. So there will be a lot of people shorting these lows right here, and they will get bought up really fast, as I said. Also, the stock market, the same thing. If we look at the Nasdaq and the S&P 500, basically, I'm possibly expecting a bigger dump to that weekly pivot for the S&P 500, and then we take off once again, since we actually just broken above it and have not tested it yet, as you can see right here. So this is why I'm expecting a slight bigger correction. So if that happens, guys, basically Bitcoin can probably dump even below this buyer zone right here that we just made. Maybe we can test 101 or 98k. If we look at our liquidation heat map, as you can see, we got liquidity down to basically 104. The major liquidity is sitting right here, exactly as you can see, 103, 108, 103.8k, basically 104k. That's exactly where our box of buyers is sitting right now. So I'm expecting a bounce from here. In my opinion, as I said, this is just a bear trap happening right now. And that so if that's not the case, then it's possible that this is the correction, the bigger correction that I've been talking during the weekend, that next week, so this week I mean, basically it's possible that right now if the S&P drops to that weekly pivot, basically we can probably get our bigger correction that I was talking about down to 98k probably, so that will be 12% of a dump. So as long as the S&P 500 drops until that weekly pivot and hits it, that would be a 1.5% from the S&P 500 basically, but for Bitcoin that would be a bigger dump to the downside, as you can see. So if we don't hold this box right here where the buyers need to step in, then as I said, I'm expecting lower 101 or 98k in the worst case scenario for now, but that would be a very, very good opportunity to buy the dip and basically get in another very good position, as I said. And also if we look at the Bitcoin ETF flows, we've got today, as you can see again, almost 400 million. Basically, once again, the ETFs keeps growing, so the institutions keep buying up Bitcoin. Also today, if we look at the funding rates, they are still positive and low, so that's also a good sign that the trend has not been broken yet. So as long as Bitcoin holds this box right here where the buyers need to step in, then I can see that bounce happening perfectly. Basically, we do something like this and then once again try to break above that weekly pivot and then hit that targets that I was talking in the previous video. And if that plan goes well, then I can see us going up to that last weekly pivot resistance. So basically 120k is a very, very big price target for Bitcoin. Everybody is expecting it right now. So it may not happen exactly this week or this month. It may not happen immediately, but it will happen in the near future. I'm pretty confident that we will take out all of these shorters right now, and then Bitcoin will have a stronger rally to the upside. Also for the altcoins, as we can see, the Bitcoin dominance is still falling perfectly as I predicted. Basically, if we hold this weekly pivot as resistance, then I'm expecting the Bitcoin dominance to drop once again, as I talked in my last videos. And as you can see, it's currently holding pretty well. Ethereum is actually doing right now better than Bitcoin. If we compare them, it has basically had just a small correction of around 2% basically. So it's still holding strong. But if we look at the other altcoins, like for example Solana currently down 5.5%, Sui also perfect rejection from that weekly pivot, and we're currently also 5% down. And if we look at Hype got that perfect rejection, guys, as you can see, right to that weekly pivot resistance, $40, and right now we are currently dumping hard. Basically 15% is a very, very big correction for Hype, as you can see right now. So I am expecting once again a bounce from that weekly pivot support, as you can see. So if it does not hold, then we are down to the next one, and then we can probably, if Bitcoin starts pushing up once again and holds that zone right here, then I'm also expecting for the altcoins to do extremely well once again, as long as we don't lose this zone right here. And if we look at the dollar right now, the dollar is currently also pushing to the upside. It has actually broken above that weekly pivot. So that's not actually a very good sign for Bitcoin, since, as I said in the previous videos, you know, weak dollar means strong Bitcoin. So if the dollar starts having a major push to the upside, basically, then I will reconsider my outlook for Bitcoin. But as of right now, we are currently heading to that first weekly pivot resistance, and we may see some kind of a rejection right here. Maybe we can do something from this high, like a swing failure pattern. Basically, we go up here to this high right here this week, and then we dump once again. So that's called an SFP, or a swing fail pattern. Basically, the price rejects from that previous high that it made, and then it will dump aggressively to the downside. So that's another scenario that I'm looking at for the Dixie basically. And as far as for Bitcoin, guys, as you can see currently right now it's also holding pretty good for now. So once we get back to that zone, then I'll be looking for another entry, as you can see, of around 103 to 104k. So that will be my outlook for today. I hope you liked the video, subscribe for the channel, and I'll see you again tomorrow in the next one. Bye.